Hello creation, I hope you're well. I wrote this last night. It's called Codependency and The Chambermaid. Mercury in retrograde. The mind goes in a spin, left dazed and confused, and sat with a stupid grin. Upside down and inside out, with old habits that revisit, all part of the vital means to an end. Is this divine intervention requisite? Back to front and front to back, the left hand not knowing that which the right hand does, all part of the clearing process, so no need to cause a fuss. Will we ever cultivate the necessary patience to rid ourselves of bad? Or do we fade in fear, unable to defend the self from our very own selfish attacks? No one to blame but ourselves for perception, for the perceptions are moulded by belief, not to explore possibility of self by being prepared to break the mould leaves one ignorant as the thief. And so we ask of courage to be granted to those afraid. 'Tis time to empty your own piss pot and be freed of codependency and the chambermaid. Can you hear that wind whistling through this window? Spirit talking to me. Love it when it whistles through that window like that. I've actually got, excuse me, there's a couple of rags down one side of it, excuse me, and there's a face cloth tucked in another corner of that window because the draft really it does, and even with that it's still whistling through, but I love that because, as I've mentioned before in one of these previous videos, it gives me comfort. It takes me back to when I was a child and I used to lay there and just listen to that wind whistling through round the house corner, through windows with those gaps in the windows. Very comforting. Many a time I fell asleep like that. Yeah, it gave me comfort. So as a little lad, when I wasn't getting comfort, you know, as I should have been, Spirit were there, giving me comfort, so I could get some sleep on a night. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. Some won't like it, but I love it. What's not to love about Spirit? Anyway, so that codependency and the chambermaid. Yeah, there are many who, as I was at one point, unaware of actually being codependent until I did read a book by Melody Beattie, I think her name was, or is, if she's still around, and it's called Codependent No More. Really helped me that. I was given that book by a narcissist, actually, so I can thank that particular narcissist for giving me that. You see, regardless of our experiences and heartbreaks that we've had in the past, we need to look at the positives, and through that awareness, I've never even heard of codependency, but even that being brought up, you know, I'm very grateful for that, because I learned a lot from reading that book, I'll be quite honest. And what's more, it helped me to deal with what I had to deal with, and look at that within myself and how I was and had been with others, you know, with partners, previous partners, and also tracing it back in this particular life, as obviously from a consciously aware level of consciousness, as it were, to trace it back as far as I could in this lifetime, which obviously went back to childhood. Yeah, and it was a lacking. It was a lacking of affection for a very loving, beautiful little angel of a child. And I was. I've changed. Life and experiences, I changed. I've become what I had to become at each stage through life, as we do, you know, all leading up to this current version of self, current expression of consciousness. So I was very grateful for that particular narcissist. And when I look at all those narcissists who have been in my life, it's obviously been for a reason, until I got to the stage where I could address that within myself and heal from it. And that's it, really. So that's something that was written yesterday, and it's only whatever comes through from, you know, a higher perspective, higher self. Sorry, or whatever energies we're connecting with at that particular time, whichever expressions relevant to the vibration that we are resonating with. It's all vitally important, all of it, with the amount of expressions of consciousness that are here upon this physical earth plane. All it takes is for one to, well, for someone to give you the book or mention about, you know, as I previously just mentioned, for us then to realise and think, oh, right, I didn't realise I was like that, you know. For us then to be, you've got to be willing to go in and do the work. As I've mentioned many times, before, it isn't necessarily a comfortable journey, but necessary for you to reach a more peaceful state of consciousness whilst here, you know. So it all helps, and also it's helping, as everything does. Whatever work you do, self-help is for the collective consciousness. It's for all of creation. It doesn't stop with you. It doesn't stop with you, not in the energy field that we are living in. And whatever happens upon this physical earth plane affects different dimensions of consciousness. Anyway, it is all opinion. It is very debatable, I know. All we can do is act upon what resonates with us at any given time, any given moment. Choose, but choose wisely, the path to take and the actions to take. Because whatever we do has a knock-on effect. It has that ripple effect, like throwing the stone into the pond. It reaches far out into the universe. So beloved, do your work, and hopefully we can make all of creation a much, much better place between us. That's it for now. Take care.